What is going on, gamers? This is your boy Grandpa Casual, and today we are going to talk about a little game called Game of Thrones KingsRoad. So if you had no idea, right now Steam Next Fest is going on, and there you can play a lot of demos, a lot of indie games, a lot of stuff to try out. And I was scrolling through and I happened to come across Game of Thrones KingsRoad. So disclaimer right now, I'm part of the 1%. All right, I've only watched the first season of Game of Thrones. Judge me if you want. Go ahead. Give me your best shot. I've only watched the first season. When they announced it back at the 2024 Game Awards, I wasn't like super thrilled about it, but I did put it on my radar because it looked like something fun. And lo and behold, Steam Next Fest comes around and there's a demo. So I decided to check it out. And that's what we're going to be going through today. So I'm going to go through some of the systems, some of the gameplay, and just talk about the game a little bit. So if you're new here, we talk about gaming news, reviews, and general discussions around gaming. So if that's your vibe, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because that's what we do. Right off the bat, the game seems like it's in a weird place because it seems like something that should have came out back when the show was running. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad that it didn't. And here's why. When the show was actually going on, I was one of the people that really wasn't into the hype of it. And I really didn't dive too deeply into the show, to be honest with you. So if this game came out and it was good, I probably would have been missing out on something really great at that point in time. So I'm kind of glad that it's coming out when it's coming out, which is right now. And at its core, this game is an open world RPG set in the Game of Thrones universe, or the Game of Thrones verse. Great Game of Thrones-verse? It's a Game of Thrones games that's open world, right? And I'm happy to let you know that the gameplay that you're seeing right now is actually from the Steam Deck. Yes, the Steam Deck. And I know that there are a couple games that you could play on the Steam Deck that are AAA games, but that usually comes with optimization that comes later on down the line. So the fact that I could play this demo right now on the Steam Deck and have it run and allow me to play is actually quite impressive. And it gives me confidence for the future polish of the game. That's not to say that there wasn't some stuttering and some parts where I was just like, whoa, all right, this is rough. But at the same time, I do understand that it's a demo and I know how these things work. So I wasn't really tripping off of that too much. Right off the bat, from what I've seen so far, it doesn't seem like they're trying to be really inventive with the game. It looks like they're playing it a little bit safe. You know, it starts off as you would expect. So you pick your class first, right? You got the choice between a sellsword, a knight, and an assassin. Obviously, with the sellsword being more big and strength driven and probably a lot more durable, the knight being a lot more balanced, and the assassin, which is likely more quick but not as durable as the others. And they have character customization, so you can make your own character. It's okay. It's not as robust as other games, but you know what? It serves its purpose. So I think that they really didn't go too heavy or too crazy with the character creator. I think that they kind of know what they got here. Game of Thrones has a rabid fan base, and I think that they know that people just want to be in this world, exist in this world, and just do crazy stuff. One thing that I noticed at the start is that the game is really cutscene heavy, which makes sense seeing as the game is based on a TV show, and it's kind of expected with this kind of game. So no big deal there. It feels like a interactive movie at the end of the day, which is something that I like in a lot of games. They have quick time events within some of the cutscenes as well, so it kind of adds a little bit of a dynamic vibe to it as you play, and I thought that was cool. So the game starts you off as a bastard son in a not really recognized house within the world, and guess what? Something has been going on, and the Night Watch hasn't reported in lately, so they send you to go figure out what's going on. So you head on over to Castle Black, where you meet like characters that even I know. What I notice is that they're staying really true to what the Game of Thrones show is, and it almost seems like a rehash of season 1. Obviously, Jon Snow is in the game, and I'm not even the most hardcore Game of Thrones watcher, but even I know who Jon Snow is and a few of the characters. So they're really trying to stay true to the show in a lot of ways. Shortly after you arrive to the wall, you have some dialogue, and then you find out that, hey, something is going on outside of the wall. Your uncle, who resides at the wall as well, decides to go check it out. You go with him, and you find out that the White Walkers are afoot. Similar to season 1 of Game of Thrones, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but as someone who hasn't watched the full series, maybe getting it through this format or this medium of gaming could be something that'll bring me back to the series or get me into the series again. Who knows? I felt like watching the show again after playing this little bit of the demo. So maybe. One game that stuck in my mind as soon as I started playing this was the Shadow series. It just reminded me of Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor in a lot of ways. I guess it's the setting that does that, but that's something that was clearly there. I guess with that comparison of the Shadow of War games, you're kind of expecting that same level of fluidity with the combat, but it kind of wasn't there. It's kind of weird. So what you have a strong and you have a heavy attack, but a lot of the moves and special moves that you have are on cooldown timers. But the one that kind of threw me off a lot was the dodge mechanic. The dodge mechanic is on a cooldown. So you can dodge, but then you have to wait 4 seconds to dodge again. But I got used to it after a while, so it wasn't that big of a deal. All of the systems in the game are essentially the same stuff that you would see in an open world RPG. And you have your regular things like, your map, your skill tree progressions where you progress your character and get stronger and develop moves and things of that nature. That's cool. It's to be expected. Personally, I'm kind of not looking forward to grinding another skill tree. Me personally, I kind of like the Souls formula a lot more. Like if you look at a game of like Lies of P, like you just have your attributes that you can just simply build up. And it's as simple as that. And I like the idea of having more passive abilities where it's kind of like, all right, yeah, you have these core skills, but you have these passive abilities that just kind of happen and you don't really have to do much with it. I'm not really hardcore into like really builds and things of that nature. It's just not me. I guess it's just the old man in me. I'm just not really into it. But I know that there are a lot of people that are, but overall, the game itself seems like it's cool and it's slated to come out in 2025. But the way that things are going, I would not be surprised if the game gets delayed. But if you are hyped for the game, let's keep our fingers crossed. But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. Are you hyped for Game of Thrones King's Road? Have you played the demo? Have you played anything at Steam Next Fest? Let me know in the comments. I'm always open and willing to have a conversation with you guys. And that's going to be it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like what I do. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.